Welcome to our 14th short tips and tricks webinar on Tuesday, the 16th of February 2021. My name, and as always, I would like to welcome all participants from all over the world, as well as my colleagues Claudius and Dirk from our service office in Bautzen and from home office. As always, my colleagues are ready to answer your questions directly. But how does that work? No matter which device you use, you will find the possibility to send us questions directly here in the GoToWebinar tool, which we will then answer directly back to you. Important is, we do not communicate with you publicly, but only privately. We will stay after the webinar until we have answered all your questions. We will then only switch off the microphones, but will still be available via chat and question window. As usual, this webinar will also be recorded and will be uploaded on various platforms. These include our help page, help.orgadata.com, our YouTube, and our Vimeo channel. As announced last time, I've planned for today to deal with the topic of glazing. The goal was to summarize the many possibilities from various webinars. During the preparation, however, I noticed that so much is possible with LogiKal that I can't squeeze it into one webinar. Next time, I will go directly with it again. So, if you don't want to miss anything, register now immediately via our homepage. When we come now to the first step, this will be about the basics. The basics, how you can create your individual glazing types. Whenever it is about your own individual articles, and this includes the glazing too, you are right here in the area of the user database. And here you see the part filling. This starts with the special and the insulation glaze units. These are directly related, and we start with the second one, the insulation glass unit. Here you can flexibly configure the basic glazing you need often. But why basic glazings? For this, I will come back to it later. So that we don't forget anything, we will start here to create a new glazing. And the first point is that you have to give that a new name. This is, we take here glass type 4, and in description you can do by yourself. We have here all possibilities, but make sure that your colleagues and your supplier know what you mean with the names. Very practical and important is here the inactive button. If certain basic glazes should not be used in your company, then deleting is not the right way. All positions where the glazing was used would be affected. Therefore, the basic rule is switch items that are no longer to be used to inactive here. This means that they are no longer actively available for selection, but you can get again some reports of the old positions. In the next step, you can define the glazing structure. In principle, it's not much to say here. You put here the pane thickness, choose the glass type, and if needed, also the lamination thickness here. After that, we go forward with the spacer gap. Here you can put in different, so that you have a minimum and a maximum thickness. And if you want to use only one spacer gap, then put in both fields here the same input. So then the last step on this side here is that you can choose the type of spacer. Here, we always keep up to date and always update as soon as there are new ones. But should one slip through our fingers, we are always grateful for a hint for this here. When we take the thermally improved one, you see that the C value is automatically calculated. Only the U value you have to put here in. And also here, a very important point applies. Enter as precisely as possible and also take into account different spacer gaps you put here. And you can rely completely on LogiKal when calculating the different U values. With this, the basic data, in this whole window, the basic data for the basic glazing is complete, and we could use it. However, this is still without further dimensional checks and without pricing. But for this, we will come now. The second window, it starts with other points. It starts with the fact that not often only the certain U values is required for CE labeling and others, but also acoustic performance, solar factor, and also the light transmittance. Also here, very important. You enter the data accordingly here, and LogiKal determines the final values of the elements for you automatically. So an easy point. What we all know by now is that glazing should also always be larger, but the possibilities, of course, are limited. Particularly large glazings are often only available under special circumstances and then costs more. I think this is impossible to keep this in mind all the time. And so that you don't miss out one or the other glazing, you can enter here maximum sizes for the glazing. So as an example, maximum of 5 square meters or a maximum side length of 2,500 millimeters. But what happens if the planned glass dimension exceed those entered here? LogiKal gives you a hint, and you have the possibility to enter this glazing, but only within special price. But this can also be a little bit easier. If, yes, for example, only a larger paint thickness is necessary, you can simply enter corresponding successing glass here. So LogiKal then selects automatically the next glazing directly, and you don't have to worry about it. By the way, when we look at this point, LogiKal automatically calculates the right glazing weight. However, if there are deviations due to special glazings, fillings, and so on, you can, with this field, override the automatic glazing weight here. But always remember, if you enter a weight here, LogiKal does not question this weight and takes this into account when selecting corresponding hardware and so on and so on. Usually, I like to go over these last settings in the other webinars, but today I want to talk about them. The first step here is that you can change the glass support here. With this, the system glass support is not overwritten, but enlarged or reduced accordingly. So a very great possibility to change the automatic size, the automatic glass dimensions in the position. On the next point, I would like to ask you a quick question here. How many different glazing suppliers do you currently have? If you use more than one, you will surely stumble over the fact that the glazings are not automatically sorted by LogiKal for orders and so on. And maybe this is also the reason why you currently only use one supplier. With LogiKal, you should not only be as flexible as possible in the selection of hardware and profile suppliers, but also with the glazing. So simply enter the supplier here and LogiKal will sort the orders correctly. You can find out how to create the desired suppliers on our help page and in some other webinars. And it's really, really easy. We have moved now from the technical aspects to the commercial ones. As you surely know, you can easily create your individual price classes and articles in the area of your own database. And of course, you can use them also here. Discount group and here. The last point is very easy. If you want to use special glazings only for special systems, please enter the system here and LogiKal regulates if this fit together. Okay, now the aim is to include the glazing with all markups and so on, so that the real purchase price is taken into account. And therefore, you have here a third part, the third estimation part here. This helps you to get the most accurate calculation and also helps you also later with the invoice verification and also with the controlling. When we start here, we have at first one big question. Does your glazing supplier charge graduated or according to square meters? When we take the first one, you can enter the corresponding height dimension here in centimeters and the width dimension here also in centimeter and enter then the price here. You can change if the price is per square meter or per piece. And if you want to make it very easy for you, you can easily import the data of your supplier. Here, the usual Excel formats are easy to use. Also, the price maintenance is easy because you can raise the prices here on a percentage or on a linear basis. So I think probably the most frequent user case is, however, the calculation with the square meters. There, it is much more easier. You put here in the price per square meter. And if your glazing supplier said, okay, from 3 square meters per piece on, it costs, 30 euros per square meter, then it is no problem. LogiKal looks how big the glazing is and takes the right price here. Of course, you can also put in some minimal calculation area, or if the glass suppliers like to use the 3 to 3 centimeter calculation method, or minimum length which are calculated, everything is possible here. The last step in this window is about the surcharges. In the course of time, there have always been price surcharges from different suppliers and we add them all here. So here you have now all possibilities which you can use. I think these points are very self-explanatory, but I want to go on one point more in detail. Here, the shaped glass surcharges. Here it is also important that you can be as flexible as possible. And since these surcharges can be different for different suppliers, simply enter them here for different glazing. The question is now where you can adjust these shaped glazing surcharges. This is very easy. We save that, go one step back, and we find that also here in the user database in the fillings. Shaped glass. And here you find all the possibilities. Here you can change them and also add some additional if you use more than these 3 glazing suppliers here. So also this very good and very easy possibility to calculate the right glazing here. Now I would like to come back to the point from the beginning. We have now looked at how you can create basic glazing. Let's take a look here at this position for this glazing. A little tip, by right clicking, you can go directly in the element input area that you need at the moment, just as we now jump here in the glazing part. Okay, then we take a look. Let's see here our glazing. So with one click, we have it here. Now you find here the possibility to add some special glazings. And this brings us to the reason why I said earlier that we create only in basic glazing in the category insulating glazing. You can adapt with these flexibly, and the corresponding glazing, the glass outside or inside, is replaced by the selected special glazing. And small possibility with a huge effect, because with this way you only need a few basic glazings and can change them according with the functional or special glazes. I think this is really great because it's easy. It's very easy and very practical. At this point here, I would like to say about 2 more points. On the one hand, you see here the categories. If you want to use them for a better overview, it is very easy. You simply enter the desired category when you create a new basic glaze. And all glazes with the same category will be sorted according to each other. The second point is about the assembly place here. In short, with the assembly place, you can assign different articles to different assembly places. An example, in the location in the workshop or on the building site. LogiKal then sorts these articles on the appropriate reports. And that is exactly how it works here with individual glazing. So if you need one glazing in your workshop and the other on the glazing on the building side, LogiKal does that automatically for you. Okay, when I now take a look on the clock, the 20 minutes are almost over at this point. And normally, this is where I take a look for the next event. But today, I have a very special possibility for you. And for this, you even do not have to wait 2 weeks, because on Monday, the RNT Digital Fair starts, and we will be there for the first time. The fair really offers the feeling of a real virtual fair, and we have also prepared a lot for you. So simply scan this QR code and you will land directly on our RNT platform and get a free ticket for the RNT fair. So various events on very different topics await you. These include LogiKal, and we will also be presenting a great new product. And with this, we come now to the end and the usual hint. If you have further interest, you can simply take part in the following survey and we will get back to you. So let's rock the week together and stay healthy. Until then, bye.